Hello everyone and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 132. It is Sunday, May 1st, 2016, and I'll check up on what episode I actually am on. And it's probably close enough. It is another gorgeous day. I was afraid earlier this morning there was all sorts of screeching and dreadful noises, so I was afraid I was going to have to record inside, but looks like we're okay today. Really beautiful day, so I'm glad to have an excuse to be outside in the shade, because I got sunburned yesterday. Whoops. I forgot that the day star turns me red. Let's see, I think this week is actually going to be a more normal week than usual. Does that make any sense at all? Well, what is it? Or that I actually did some spinning this week, so I felt a little funny and bad that I hadn't done any spinning. So, I have gone a bit farther on my citron shawl. So, what I did this week was finish one of the non-ruching sections, so not a lot of extra distance this week, but it was 2 color repeats, so perhaps that's a better benchmark of how far I've gone on this project now. I'm almost through the full color progression, so this would be the case where I'm just beginning the purple, in which case the center of the color progression is somewhere about here. So you can see the stripes are getting shorter as we go. More yarn, or whatever. Less stripes in a given stripe, but still making full stripes within the length of the shawl. So this has, it's gotten a little bit of love. I was able to focus a little bit more on it than I was last week. So I have 47.8 grams left of this guy. So there was probably somewhere between 115 and 120 to start. So at some point I'm going to have to make a choice as to when I'm going to be starting the ruffle. And I don't know if that's going to be at the 30 gram mark, in which case I have 15 more to go. So maybe I'll get through the color progression and then see where I stand there, or whether or not I want to start going further in, because there's definitely quite a bit of yarn here. So it could keep going and going and going. So not quite to the 2/3 mark. Maybe I'll be at the 2/3 mark next week, who knows. The other thing that managed to get some more love was the Hitafude. So I am knitting this out of, okay, so the citron was also my hand spun. This is also my hand spun as well. So this is Alicia Goes Around, and what I'm calling the Mallard colorway, because it reminds me of ducks. And I have 3 repeats now in this, which is pretty cool. So, I'm guessing that this will actually start moving a little bit more quickly. And I did a repeat yesterday, so that was where I think most of the love had been applied. Ooh, stitches are coming off. I cannot stand for that. So, it doesn't seem like it's going to be, however many inches long it needs to be in order to fit my wingspan, so that is the mystery right now. And it seems like it's actually really stretchy, so maybe it's fine, but it just seems pretty shallow for whatever reason. Sorry, my computer is in power saving mode when I unplug it, so would it be? So this is coming along. At some point I'll reference the pattern again and see how long this needs to be before I start doing something different. I'm getting away from the darker teals and heading to the brighter teals. So we'll see how that ends up coming together, or where I'm going to be in the color progression when I end up joining the sleeves. But it's coming along. It's been fairly straightforward today. And whatever, lovely to actually get a chance to use my hands. So I was a little bit silly. What was it? I ended up actually finishing these. So, and oh, I totally forgot to bring down the sock blockers, but that won't be the end of the world. So these are my simple skip rib socks, which is an Adrian U pattern. I knit them out of Indigo Dragonfly Dragon Sock in the Deep Ocean colorway. And they're done. So really, really dense, really squishy. I pretty much use the full 100 grams in order to knit them. But for some reason this was a 4-ounce skein, so I got, there's just so many things stabbed into that little ball. Okay, there we go. But I have about 14 leftover grams of yarn. But that is whatever. How much I have left. So finally done. I started these New Year's Day. I finished them yesterday. I left for Kitchenering the toes for a few days, and then I was running outside and needed something quick to finish, and so I grabbed that. So I could have left these for Stash Dash, and they would have counted for pretty decent yardage, but oh well. So, because they are really, really dense socks. As you guys can tell, maybe tell, they went a lot faster when I started actually focusing on knitting them. And there were just way too many false starts on the pattern. So, I would like to knit the pattern that I had originally gotten, or originally tried to do these socks in, so the Aberdeen socks. And I'll just have to pick an appropriate semi-solid out of my stash for that. So, these are ready to go. I don't necessarily block socks before I start wearing them, so I'll probably throw them into the drawer and they'll be in the rotation. And they are really cushy and really dense, so hopefully these guys have a nice long life. They're 100% merino, so that's why I was knitting them on double zeros and getting like 9.5 stitches per inch for the gauge, because I just really wanted them to last, because they're really a really lovely, vibrant color. So, yay, done. That took way longer than I think it should have. Oh well. Such is life. Other priorities. I don't know, whatever. So, so it's looking like I won't be done with either of my other two projects in time for the beginning of Stash Dash, but this probably also means that for some of my other projects I won't be like plying them until Stash Dash starts. So, but I would have to finish spinning the singles as well, so so I present for you guys my March Spin the Bin, which is the Fiber Optic 80/20 Merino Silk Gradient. This is the Bitter Lime to Rose colorway, and you can see some of the rose over here, but I'm definitely into the blue right now, so it's this like navy royal sort of blue. And I did get a little bit of spinning done on this week. I weighed it earlier this week, and I don't think I've done too much since then, but I still have more than 2 ounces. I have like 2.7 ounces. Unfortunately, when I was pulling this out, I got some of the grass on it, unfortunately. So, so I still have quite a bit to go on this. I think the halfway point is probably when it starts becoming more green. So, nah. But, so this was supposed to be my March spin the bin. And this would be the case where I'm not even a quarter way through this spin yet, so I might need to focus on this a little bit if I'm gonna keep churning through the bin yarns. This is probably the biggest project I have left in my bin. Yeah, I think it's the biggest project that I have left in my bin, so, oh, whatever. I put 8 ounces into that month. It's gonna take a while to get through. And I think the other thing is that my February spin is, the silk hankies, and I did work on this as well. But whatever, it's spindle spinning, it's slower, it's silk, so it's a little bit of a pain to draft. But it is really gorgeous fiber. So, really gorgeous colors. This one is much more, has a lot more harmony than the other ply had, and I have that 1.5 ounces done. So this is the next 1.5 ounces. So I have my Blue Moon, which is the turquoise purple and the cyan blue. And then I have my Rainforest, which has the turquoise, the Kelly green, and the acid green. And so they harmonize pretty nicely with each other. And I think what was preventing me from working on it, catching the spindle, there we go. What was preventing me to work on it is that I did decide to do it in bigger chunks. So my first ply was bright colors, quickly changing, and this one I'm doing 2 of the Blue Moon and then 4 of the Rainforest. And so prepping that all up is a bit cumbersome and messy. It's probably easier if whenever I'm done spinning a progression of the color to prep up the next set. So I think that'll make it a little bit easier to do and that sort of thing. I'm guessing, maybe, we'll see. Not like I've done that yet right now, so, but I think that's the big thing for making sure, whatever, it keeps moving forward and I keep working on it. It's certainly a longer project because it is on spindles. I think after, like, I'm not sure that I would necessarily spin silk hankies again. Like, I wanted to try it, I wanted to see how it was. I'm sure the yarn will be quite gorgeous, but I think I'd rather get a different preparation of silk in the future. So I think that'll make it much nicer to spin, because it was the case where in Abby Frankelmont's class last month, it was just so nice to spin silk top. So I think I'd like to, you know, focus on that or spend my money there, if that makes any sense. And dye myself or something like that. I'm not sure. So that is the state of things. So unfinished object, and now I'm back to 2 knitting projects. I think that's a much more comfortable number. And and what? So that should be nice. I don't think I have plans on the horizon for starting anything new, at least for the time being, unless something makes me go, I want to use all of the scraps. But for now, I think focusing on 2 projects will result in them being completed in a more reasonable amount of time. Just a thought process. So I am planning on doing Stash Dash this year. I'm not sure exactly, I'm not sure what category I'm actually going in for. Last year it turned out that I was like ridiculously sick then and couldn't go to work and ended up getting a lot of stuff done for it early. This year I'm gonna be, I got a day job. I can't get around that one, so the most I can do is just have a lot of things near completion. So the sweater is near completion, it's mostly finished. I totally forgot about the socks, so yeah, whatever. Probably better to just have socks be part of the rotation. The shawl is going to be probably in the 1380 range. The sweater is going to be in the 1400 range. Not sure how much yardage I'm going to get out of my silk or my merino silk, but it seems like whatever, I'll have a pretty decent start for the end of May. And I'll be doing, what is it, at least some travel in the short term. So a couple of weddings, conference, that sort of thing. So hopefully that'll be a nice opportunity as well for getting some stuff done. I'm looking forward to whatever, chilling out, sitting, listening, that sort of thing, so it should be nice. Oh, I think I need to find an excuse to sit outside and be here all day. Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm planning on hosting any cows in the near term, so I think that's everything I want to talk about. So I should be able to record next week, and maybe I will end up going on some sort of an adventure over the weekend. I won't be able to record the week after that. I might, I'm not sure whether I'll put out a weekday episode or not. Yes, I could. It's not like it's a big deal. When the episodes are only 20 minutes long, it's pretty easy to fit it in. And then I'm probably gonna have to miss a week in June. I'm pretty sure. That one's gonna be hard. I could record live from Hilton Head, South Carolina, but I suppose I have everything I would need to do that, but we'll see. Or bring my webcam and record a midweek sort of episode, I'm not sure. So that's the story there, so I'm looking forward to whatever that little bit of busy that you get in summer, so that should be fine. It isn't like I'm going to be escaping the heat by going to South Carolina in June though, so. And we'll see where things go from there. I think the only other vague plan that's sort of coming in is I'm probably going to be re-knitting the hexagon socks. Yeah, no, I didn't really want to do it, but the Dear Sweet Lovable one really likes the hexagon socks. It's a little bit irrational, so I threw him my bag of scraps, and he was like, yeah, this'll work. So, even though the pattern isn't necessarily all that interesting, it'll be an opportunity to get rid of the very small pile of whatever. Well, my problem is right now my sock yarn scraps actually have expanded into multiple bags, so I do have quite a lot of scraps. And I could make colorwork socks or something like that, but the hexagons seem to be a pretty decent way of using up the scraps as well. So we'll see how I end up working that, or what I end up doing. Excuse me. So I think that's everything for this week, so I will be recording again on the 8th, and I hope you guys have a lovely week, so take care guys, bye-bye.